going to an equation of business. There is a first equation, old equation. What is written there? Cost plus profit is equal to price. The manufacturing cost and include the overhead, all those things included. Cost per product is 100 rupees. I want 20 rupees profit. So I will add 20 rupees. Now my price of the product is 120 rupees. After 2 years, I want more profit. Now what will I do? I will look at my cost, manufacturing cost. And now the manufacturing cost is 110 rupees. Now I want more profit. I want 30 rupees profit. So I will add 30 rupees to my cost. So 110 plus 30. Now the price of the product is 140. So what is your idea of maximizing the profit? You increase the price. Am I correct? Your idea of profit maximization is increasing the price. That is the old equation. But do you think this thinking will work in all scenarios? If you are a monopoly, you don't have competitors, and the price, you are allowed to decide on the price. Those are the situation you can use this equation. But in my opinion, 95% of the situation, competitors exist. Am I correct?
Right.
And 95% of the situation, market conditions will decide the price. Customer can even go to the extent of fixing the price. That's the today's scenario. In that case, you must start understanding the new equation where price minus cost is equal to profit.
Profit.
Or otherwise price equal to profit minus cost. Right? So price is fixed. Your price is 120 rupees. It is the market price. You can't keep on increase the price. Maybe customer can even expect you to decrease the price. We all should have come across this, isn't it? Now the price is 120, but you want more profit. Now what is left with you? The cost of manufacturing, isn't it? If the price is fixed by the market, at the same time you want more profit, then you have control only over the cost. Try to minimize the cost, reduce the cost, thereby you will be able to maximize the profit. The old idea is increase the price to maximize your profit. But the new idea is decrease the cost to maximize the profit. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Very good. This thinking is called, Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma. Now, customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction leads to business growth. And because if you ensure your customers are fully satisfied, your business will grow. As the business grows, your profit will also grow. Customer wants faultless quality. That means defect-free products, defect-free services. Customer wants on-time delivery because they wanted to see whether their orders are getting prioritized. Are you giving proper preference? Whenever I place an order, are you giving preference to my order? How do I know? By looking at the on-time delivery. And then quick service. Every time I place an order, is that immediately attended? At the same time, customer wants lowest price. These are the 4 important factors that drive customer satisfaction. Hope all of you agree with me. Now you can even summarize, you can even combine these requirements into 3 things. One is no compromise on the quality. Another thing is on-time delivery. And third one is price should be competitive. The price or the cost is connected to the selling price, time connected to the customer schedule, quality is connected to the customer requirement. But now the cost, what is deciding your cost? The cost associated with your process. You can always complicate a process and make it a costlier one. Isn't it? You can always complicate a process and make it a costlier one. You can always make your process super effective and super efficient, make it simple. At the same time, it remains effective and efficient. And so this actually depends on process cost. Your on-time delivery depends on the speed of your process. And the quality depends on process capability. If your process is designed in a way that it can never produce a poor quality product, the process is considered highly capable. Let's say all of you are going through the program and none of you are going to fail in the exam. That means the process is designed in a way that it remains highly capable in all situations. Whether someone is new to Six Sigma or someone is already familiar with Six Sigma, all of them comfortably go through the process and process remains effective. This is called capability, right? So now process cost, you need to minimize the process cost. You need to increase the process speed. You need to increase the process capability so that the customer satisfaction is always at the peak. Hope all of you understand. Everything is boiling down to the process. Can you see that? All the customer requirement depends on the process. How you design the process, how you run the process, how you control it. That actually decides all these requirements. In an ideal situation means it never happens, right? In an ideal situation, these things will happen. Just assume whether all these things are happening in your company. The best quality raw material comes to your company at a very, very minimum price. Is it happening? Just ask for yourself. Second question, your people and processes in your company, always they produce world-class quality. Is it happening? Third statement, you are able to produce at the lowest cost and you always produce when there is a demand. We call it just in time. Is it happening? The fourth one, your products are picked up by customer at your price. Tell me honestly, is that all these statements are true currently in your business scenario? Very difficult.
No.
That's why we call it ideal situation, right? So in such situation, if all these things happens, there will be a huge profit. But in real life, it is difficult. It is difficult, right? So what is preventing your organization in moving towards the ideal situation? That is my question. What are the constraints? How can you overcome the constraints? The first factor that is coming into picture is the mindset and culture. Isn't it? Everybody should understand and they must start extending their cooperation. Then all other factors will be able to do it. Now, what needs to be done? We need to reduce the cost of the process. How? By reducing the wasteful activities that are part of your process, right? You can reduce the process cost by eliminating the wasteful activities that are otherwise part of your process. Knowingly, unknowingly, you do something which is useless to anyone. Possible, right? And number two, you can reduce the time by minimizing the delays. Sometimes raw material will be waiting just like that. Raw materials wait unattended. Machineries might be waiting for instruction. Your operators might be waiting for instruction. You might be waiting for your managers, your boss instruction. Waiting in any form is actually a waste, isn't it? So can you eliminate all those delays? That means I want you to speed up your process. Why there is a delay, right? Why there is an unproductive thing happening? And number three, reduce the defects. So reduce the waste, reduce the delay, reduce the defects. You know what will happen? Profit will get maximized. So this is the kind of scenario that might exist in all companies all the time. You can't say your process, is operating at the best capacity. Always there is a scope for improvement, right? So zero defects. One of you mentioned during your, the introduction, I want to achieve zero defect. You will never achieve. Always, there will be a scope for it. It's a concept. Always there is a chance for a defect to happen. So we will continuously strive for perfection. And perfection is a never-ending journey. Perfection is a never-ending journey. Even if you achieve zero defect, and a new definition of the defect will start appearing now. Zero defect means zero defect in the eyes of the customer, but internally there can be 100 defects. In the eyes of the customer, no defects, but internally in the eyes of your quality inspectors, there are 100 defects can exist. Possible, right? So always there is a scope for improvement. And so you need problem solving methodologies. If various problem solving methodologies exist, depending on the kind of problem. If the problem is very simple, easy to understand, just do it. Sometimes this is the methodology, just do it. Participating in the training program, staying, very attentive and staying interactive, doing all the assignments. If you don't do this, yes, that will definitely affect your performance. You know how to tackle it. Just do it. That's all. You try to be participative, try to be interactive, try to complete the assignments. Yes. Similarly, there are many issues might be going on for which the solution is simply available. You just do it. Similarly, Kaizen, small improvement. Kaizen means small continuous improvement. It doesn't require much investment. It doesn't require any new equipment, new resource. With existing resource, with small effort, within a matter of 1 or 2 days, or maximum 1 or 2 weeks, you can fix the problem. You really do not require additional budget. Such problems can be solved using an approach called, or a methodology called Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word. It is actually, one of the lean concept, where K stands for change, Gen stands for better. You change for the better, right? That's Kaizen. PDCA, plan, do, check, act. Lean, Six Sigma, DFSS, project management, A3, 8D. There are many methodologies that exist. Depending on the nature of the problem, you can adopt. In my opinion, all these, you need people who have the expertise in all these approaches, because some problems will be very complex in nature. Yes, definitely Six Sigma experts are required. Six Sigma green belts and black belts are required. And in some projects, Kaizen approach itself will do. In some projects, PDCA, some companies use A3, some companies use 8D. Ultimately, we wanted to solve a problem. You need to know, you need to understand. It is mainly depending on the complexity of the problem, we choose the methodology. One thing I would like to differentiate here, the difference between Six Sigma and project management, or Six Sigma and other methodologies, right? Six Sigma, particularly difference between Six Sigma and project management. Why I talk about this? Most of the time people confuse between Six Sigma and project management. Some people even ask, sir, should I study project management first or Six Sigma first? So what is project management? Both project management, Six Sigma and Lean are methodologies to achieve breakthrough improvement. Kaizen, just do it, and these are small improvement, small or moderate improvement, but breakthrough improvement. If you want to achieve, if your organization want to achieve breakthrough improvement, first of all, it should educate its employees on Lean, Six Sigma, project management, and all these approaches. So all of them are for breakthrough improvement. Project management means you are trying to solve a problem. You're trying to solve a problem for which a solution already exists. For which a solution already exists. Now, what is the challenge then? The challenge is implementing the solution within the allotted time or available time. The challenge is implementing the solution within the allotted budget or allotted resources. Am I correct? Project management means you need to implement a solution within the allotted time and within the allotted budget. Coming to the Six Sigma, here also you are solving a problem. In addition to the challenge of time and budget, solution itself will be a challenge because solution is not available. Do you understand the difference between project management and Six Sigma? There is a problem which is repeatedly happening. If you don't attend to it, the same problem will happen tomorrow also. It will lead to many more complications if you don't attend to it. Problem is recurring in nature, but solutions are not available. Why? Nobody is clear about the root cause. They are taking some action, but all the actions are on the symptoms and nothing is on the root cause. Such problems are candidate for Six Sigma experts. All of you understand the difference between Six Sigma and project management, right? Similarly, there are other approaches. And within Six Sigma, there are two approaches. One is for correction, another one is for prevention. Correction is DMACC, prevention is DMADV. When I say correction, I am improved from the current. When I say correction, I am improving from the current. When I say prevention, I am developing something new. I am developing something new. Killing a disease is DMAIC. But birth giving is DMADV. Hope all of you understand the difference. There is a problem, there is an illness already. You wanted to solve it. You wanted to cure it. So you use a methodology called DMAIC. You already have products and you're already selling the products, and then there are a lot of customer complaints. There are a lot of defects happening. Every shift, there is a rejection happening. Now you have already a process. You need to improve the process, thereby the rejections can go down. Now which methodology will use? DMAIC. Now you want to launch a new product, but you wanted to be very sure that there are no rejections, there are no customer complaints. Now you are using another methodology called DMADV. This is called Design for Six Sigma. Design for Six Sigma. Yes, Madhakumar.
So I have a doubt. I think, can you repeat once again the correction and prevention?
Yeah, and also if you can just explain the difference between project management and Six Sigma. I'm a bit confused there.
I've drawn a clear boundary. Project management, you are implementing a solution and you are trying to implement a solution within the allotted time and within the allotted budget. Solution is readily available. Metro project is successful in Delhi. Now you are implementing in Bangalore. That's a project management, example of project management.
Okay.
The new disease is spreading. We don't know why, what is the new disease, what is the root cause. Now it is a project for Six Sigma. Six Sigma is a kind of project where we try to understand the root cause and develop the solution. But project management, the root causes are already understood. Solution is already generated. All that you do is you replicate the solution wherever it is required. That is project management. But there also there will be challenges, completing the project on time and
Resources.
assigning the roles, responsibilities, allocating the resources. All those challenges, yes, project manager will handle. But the responsibility of a project manager of a Six Sigma project is much more than an actual project manager. That's what I'm trying to say. Hope it is clear.
Yep.
Yes.
So key focus of Six Sigma chain of causation. Our survival is...
Sorry, sir, the last part also, can you go back on the previous slide? DMACC and DMADV. That also.
One is uplifting the quality of a product is DMACC. Developing a new product is DMADV. Uplifting the quality. Why you need to uplift the quality? Because your competitors are doing well, doing better than you. Because there are customer complaints. Now you have to develop your product. I mean, you have to improve your product. That is DMAIC. Every shift, there is a 10% rejection happening. Now you have to improve your process. Am I correct? Whenever you come across the keyword improvement, use DMAIC. Whenever you come across the keyword development, use DMADV, product development, process development. Anything that you try to build newly, that is called a DFSS project. You are developing new, but you don't want to compromise on the quality. The approach is called DFSS, Design for Six Sigma. That will use a separate methodology, DMADV, but improvement will use a methodology called DMAIC. And we will be seeing all of them in detail. Right now, the borderline is one for improvement, another one is for development.
Okay, just one more question on this. Can DMADV be part of DMACC basically? Because
Why
in
not?
DMACC also you're developing a
not?
solution.
DMADV can be part of DMACC. Your lean can be part of DMACC. Your Kaizen can be part of DMACC. Possible.
Okay.
Possible. The advanced way of using the learnings. Ultimately, you wanted to grow. That's all. Use
All right.
in the you can cascade it the way it is required. Ultimately,
Yeah,
if
but
you can achieve some result, that's good.
correct. But it cannot be the other way around. Like DMACC is part of DFSS. Can that also happen?
Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. See, the whole idea of DFSS is designed for Six Sigma is produce a product which is readily acceptable right in the first launch. Your first launch itself should be acceptable.
Mhm.
That idea is DFSS. Like your marriage. You can't try it many times, isn't it?
That's a wrong example. It can go both ways. I won't comment. Yeah, but yeah, understood what you're trying to say.
Yes. So our survival is dependent upon growing the business. But our business growth is largely determined by customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is governed by quality, price, and delivery. The quality, price, and delivery are controlled by process capability. Our process capability is greatly limited by variation. Let's say the supplier quality, the variation is too much. Every week he give different quality of raw material. Will you be able to maintain a consistent quality? Difficult, right? Your operators, many operators, they very frequently leave the job, and shift to shift, different operators are coming. You have 100 machines, but all of them purchased, at different time. So there will be machine to machine variation, operator to operator variation, shift to shift variation, plant to plant variation, raw material to raw material variation. All these variations are possible. So all these variations will pull down your process capability. Hope all of you understand, right? And so the whole goal is now control the variation and ultimately reduce the variation, because you can't eliminate variation, right? So process variation leads to increase in defects, increase in the cost, as well as the cycle time. Ultimately, your quality goal, delivery goal, and cost goal, all of them will get damaged, right? So to eliminate the variation, we all must try to apply the right knowledge. Am I correct? Because variation is a statistical concept. Variation is the root cause of all the problem. A bowler is bringing too many variation. Now even a batsman like Sachin Tendulkar will struggle to play. Possible, isn't it? So variation is the biggest enemy of achieving consistency as well as the capability. So in order to apply the right knowledge, we must first acquire it. And to acquire the new knowledge, we must have the will to survive. I really appreciate all of you, because you all had that already and you have enrolled. All of you can pick up an answer here from my slide. There are 4 cars I am showing. Whichever car you feel a quality car, please type it in the chat box. Let me see whether you have understood so far well. Please type your answer in the chat box. Which car is a quality car? Out of the 4 options I am giving, which one is a quality car? I am seeing your answers. All of you are done with the answers. I always suggest your participation, right? Your participation is the key. Right now, I got about 8 responses, but there are 30 people here. All right, I've given enough time and 10 of you participated. I could see the BMW dominating. If I ask you, which car is a luxurious car?
I have a
BMW.
doubt, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, the question says which is a quality car, but we don't have any parameter to judge or to evaluate. So how can we say that, what is the quality car?
So that's the reason why you have not given your answer, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Very good. I appreciate now. That's how you should react, right? Most of the time we confuse between quality and luxury. We ask you luxurious car. Yes, all the answers are correct, because most of you have typed BMW. All the cars are quality cars.
All are quality cars.
All are quality cars. All are successful in the market. Because then what is the difference? Customer segmentation is different. Customer segmentation is different. Customer segment is different. And so the requirements are different. The expectations from the Renault Kwid and the expectations from BMW are clearly different. But as long as the expectations are met, the product can be considered a quality product. So the basic definition of quality is meeting your customer expectation. Meeting your customer expectation. And the journey towards quality starts with identifying your customer segment. The journey towards quality starts with identifying your customer segment. What kind of customers you are going to serve? Is it a male or a female? What is the age group? What is their geographical boundary? All these things. What is their buying power? What are their requirements? So the journey towards quality starts with customer segmentation. When I say customer segment, I'm not referring to one person. It is, a huge number of people, like-minded people who have some interest in your product. You might be producing a car, you might be producing a two-wheeler, or you might be producing a water bottle, or you might be offering a service, insurance service, whatever it is. What kind of people are, will be interested in your product or in your service? This is called, customer segment. You should be able to define very well. Once the customer segment is defined with the proper boundary, you will now be able to talk about the requirement. Requirements can be many. Requirements can be many. But what is very, very important is you should be able to capture their requirement and express them in specific statement. Specific statement. For example, at the time of joining the course, what is that you expected from the course? You might have simply made one line, isn't it? Your statement was very vague, sir. Training should be good. But there are a lot of meaning behind the word good. Am I right? Same way, only customer also will respond. Product should have decent quality, but the meaning behind decent quality is 100 meanings. You have to write down each and everything in specific statement, and your work doesn't stop there. Then convert each and every specific requirement into a measurable metric. Once you complete this job, the measurable metric that you derived from the voice of the customer, I mean the expression of the customer, is called CTQ. One product can have 100 CTQ. One product can have 1000 CTQ. Take your smartphone. How many CTQs you expect from a smartphone? You can write down. Throughout the day, you will write, isn't it? My phone should have a big screen. Big screen means what is the diameter in inches or in centimeters. I need my camera to be very clear. What the customer is talking about. He is talking about megapixel. I want so much megapixel in the front camera. I also want so much megapixel in the rear camera. Everything is a CTQ. Nothing but specifications of your product. All of you understand the meaning of the first line, your journey towards quality. Understanding customer requirement is drilled down to identification of CTQs. Is that clear? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now the CTQs are clear. Now you proceed with the
Hello, sir.
designing.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I had one query. In CTQ, as you said, all parameters can be CTQ, but sometimes some specification parameters are functionally not that important. So how we decide which is CTQ and which is not?
No, functionally not important means, that's why, we have prioritization. Whichever functionally important, we will bring it on top of our list. Suppose the finish of the painting that you do it in the chassis of the car. That's what you mean to say, am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
The finish,
right.
the finish of the outer surface of the car is very, very important. But the level of finish in the under chassis is not that much important. So now you decide the prioritization, the order of importance is changing. Maybe you may have a moderate finish. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Right.
So we will be, see, we are now listing down all the requirement. After that, all of us have limited resources. We can be a millionaire, we can be a billionaire, but however, our resources are limited. So we have to prioritize while spending the resources, right? So after noting down all the customer requirement, we will only give what is important to the customer. We will not try to give everything, because if I try to give everything, probably it may go to the level of making loss, incurring loss. That's not the purpose of the business, right? So I will give what is important to the customer. Once the important ones are given, I will check whether I can give some more. I can give some more, but in the whole process, I should remain profitable. Hope it is agreeable. Now the CTQs are understood. You move on to designing. Now the design. Why you design? You wanted to see how your product will look in the market, how it will look in the hands of the customer. Is it really appealing? Is it aesthetically good? Is it functionally good? All that thing, you wanted to see. So you now designed. Maybe you can even create a prototype. You make 10 pieces and see how your phone will look like, how your water bottle will look like, how your product will look like. But you can't use the same method for mass production. Prototype, our requirement is produce 5 pieces, 10 pieces, just to confirm the design is good, isn't it? But for mass production, we develop processes. We will not use the same method of prototyping. We will develop process. What is a process? That will also produce the same product only. But how the process is different from the way you produce the prototype. If you say you have developed a process, the quality of the first product you are making and the quality of the nth product you are going to make will be same. That means there is a process in place. Am I correct? Hundreds of batches of training is happening, but every outcome is acceptable. That means you have process in place. Similarly, you produce 1,000 pieces every day. All 1,000 pieces should go through the quality check, should be acceptable by your customer. That definitely requires a process in place. We'll speak more about the process. Now comes another requirement: process control and process improvement. You can also call it process management. Process control means statistical process control. Why statistical process control is required? If you don't keep an eye on your process, if you don't control the inputs that are going to the process, your outputs, may have defects, isn't it? So in order to ensure your quality is consistently, better, we will have something called process control. Hope all of you will be doing this. You will be collecting some data. You will be plotting control chart every day while starting the shift. You will do certain checking in the shop floor, whether the settings are okay, whether the operator has come on time, and all those things you are checking. Why? Because you wanted to have control in your quality. So sometimes what happens, an improvement will be required. When improvement is required, if your process is designed badly, improvement is required. How do you know your process is designed badly? There are internal rejections. Internal rejection itself is 10%, 20%. It simply means your process, the way the process designed is really bad. Sometimes you designed well, everything is going smooth, but your competitors have come up with a better process. They are more profitable than you. They are able to satisfy the customer better than you. Is it a situation that really requires some improvement? Definitely, isn't it? So whenever your competitors are doing better, you can't keep quiet. You can't say that, my product is this and competitor product is that. If you keep quiet, sometimes, it may go to the extent of kicking you completely out of the market. So you should always, refer to what your competitors are doing. If they come up with a better process, better product, or the customer requirement is changing all of a sudden, you should alert yourself and then improve your process. What I'm trying to say is process control and process improvement, you can't avoid in any company. You can't avoid in any organization. If you can work well here in the 4th segment, ultimately all of us attending the program, you will be working in one of the four steps. Some of you might be, studying about the customer requirement, market need analysis, or customer need analysis. Some of you might be working in designing. Some of you might be, working in the process development and all those things. But many of you might be working as managing certain process. That means you should be very good in process control and process improvement. And this is what you are learning here. And you will definitely be, paid better if you can work here. Because this is what, every company, struggles. How to ensure statistical control, how to ensure our consistency is, our quality is consistently maintained. How to ensure we keep up with the market requirement. The key word is process control and process improvement. One more time we are seeing here, everything is boiling down to process. Am I correct?
Yes.
So process improvement is the key, not only to quality, but all your business results depends on the way you design your process. You design your process badly, yes, such a result only will come. It is like, growing an orange tree. If you grow an orange tree, you can definitely produce oranges. But sometimes you want apples. Will you be able to produce apples from the same orange tree? Definitely impossible. If you want to change the fruits, you must necessarily change the roots. Similarly, in any business, if you are expecting better results, you have to improve the process. Because better results can only come from better processes. Same process can only give same result. Same process can only give same result. And in Six Sigma, we call it y equal to f of x. Any process can be expressed as y equal to f of x. Right? Your y definitely depends on x. And your business results completely depends on the process. Running the same process again and again and expecting different result is the biggest insanity. I am not saying this. Albert Einstein has said this. Running the same process again and again and expecting different results and better results is definitely a foolish activity. Am I correct? You want better results, you definitely require better process. Better process means process improvement. Six Sigma is a process improvement methodology. Six Sigma is a process improvement methodology. It works at the process level. It doesn't work at the product level. It doesn't work at your system level. It doesn't work at your organization level. It works at the process level. We improve process by process. And slowly, your business results will improve, right? First, you focus on the key processes, critical processes. Then shift your focus to the next priority. Then gradually, all the business processes will operate at a higher level of capability. That's the time you will start achieving zero defect goal. Till then, zero defect goal will only be a dream, right? So you have to ensure, because each and every process is important. But at the same time, since we have the limited resource, we will focus on critical process first. We'll prioritize. Because it will be a very costly affair if you try to improve everything. That's definitely difficult for any company. At least you improve the critical processes. And now let us understand little max behind this process approach. Y is called output. X are called input. Y is just the output, one output. One output depends on many input. So Y is one and X are many. Hope all of you understand this. To produce an output, there are many inputs that goes inside. And the output depends on input. Am I correct with my statement?
Yes.
And never the input depends on output. Output only depends on input. So your Y depends on X. So Y is called a dependent variable. Y is called dependent variable. Mathematically, X are called independent variable. You have direct control over the X, not over the Y. Am I correct? You have direct control over the X, but not over the Y. Always anything you wanted to improve, you should first of all know whether it is an X or Y. If it is an X, you can improve just like that. Like your Kaizen, no complication, nothing difficult to understand. But what you are trying to improve is your Y variable. Then you should have a process approach. Let us say your sugar level, you wanted to bring it down. Your sugar levels are abnormally high. Is it an X variable or Y variable?
X.
X variable.
Oh, is it really? Tomorrow your sugar level, you can decide.
Why?
No, Y variable and the reasons for the sugar is X, right?
Yeah. Reason for higher sugar level is X.
Yes.
So
Why
what
is the
I asked is your sugar level. Is it
is
X
Y.
variable or
This is
Y
Y,
variable?
Y.
That will definitely depend on many factors. What are the factors? The calories you consume is an important factor. Your physical activity, the number of steps you walk every day, that's a critical factor. The number of hours you sleep, that's an important factor.
Diet.
Your diet, the stress level you go through every day. All these things, can affect the, the whole process behind, and sugar level can be different every day. If you really wanted to have a good control over the sugar level, you should have good control over all these factors.
Yes.
Now you understand Y and X.
Correct.
And now for a specific problem with your Y, the reason will definitely be on the right side of the equation. Am I correct? If there is a problem with your Y, the reason is on the right side of the equation. Sometimes the problem could have been caused by one X. Sometimes the problem could have been caused by many of the X together can play. Right? What I'm trying to say is the reason for the problem, nothing but the root cause, can be one, can be many. Let us say your product is coffee day. You're running coffee day. Thousands of outlets across the country. You have different variants. Take one variant, cappuccino or something. Now, if you take a variant of a coffee, the taste is very important. Customer come to your coffee shop for the specific taste you are giving. Now the taste, when I say taste, tell me, is it a Y variable or X variable?
Taste is the X
Y
variable.
variable.
Y variable.
Y variable.
Why?
Taste is the output. Yeah.
It is the output.
Taste is output. Taste is not an input. Taste is output. So Y variable. But again, it's a broader term. It is not a CTQ. Please understand. It is customer's voice. When I say taste, it is customer's voice. What is the CTQ? Drill it down, please. What do you mean by taste?
Right
combination of aroma.
ingredients.
That means you want to know your coffee to have a desired level of sweetness. Am I right?
Yes.
You want your coffee to have the desired level of strongness. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
You want your coffee to have the desired level of hotness. Am I correct?
Yes.
Sweetness, strongness, hotness, etc., etc., etc. These are all the CTQs. If all the CTQs are good, you will say the coffee is super. The coffee is tasty. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So customer voice must be drilled down to measurable metrics. When I say taste, measurability is very weak. When I say hotness, I can measure the temperature. When I say sweetness, I can find a way to measure the sweetness. When I say strongness, I can even find a way to measure the strongness. Let us say the problem is related to the strongness. Problem is related to the strongness. Coffee is not stronger. Now tell me, what is the factor that played now? What is the factor that affected the strongness of the coffee? Is it the sugar?
Quantity of coffee.
Oh.
Quantity of coffee powder. The coffee powder is the culprit here. Coffee powder is mishandled. Either they put less, so the coffee is less stronger, or they put more, so the coffee is more stronger. Both case, coffee is not good. I want appropriate level of coffee powder. Now, in this example, the root cause is coffee powder. How many of you understand? Of you understand, right? Because the example is very simple, straightforward. All of you should be able to understand. The root cause is coffee powder. Suppose my coffee is not sweet enough, so that a lot of customer complaints are happening now. Coffee is not sweeter. Now the culprit is sugar.
Yeah.
Amount of sugar you added per 100 ml of the coffee is not appropriate. Now the root cause is sugar. Coffee is not, hot. The temperature at which the coffee is served is not appropriate now. Sometimes the combination of it can kill your taste. That means there are multiple root causes. Multiple root causes means the problem is really complex. A new formula has to be arrived by you only. If there is only one root cause, you already have a formula, and which is that root cause, and then set it right, all done. So your problem is considered complex if there are multiple root causes. Hope all of you understand. How do we define the complexity of the problem?
Yeah.
Whether the root causes are just few or many. And moreover, if you really wanted to solve any problem, first thing is you should be able to identify the root cause. You should be able to identify the root cause. There are certain tools you will be learning, like your brainstorming, like how all of us are talking about the coffee right now. So what is the tool we are using? We are using brainstorming, right? All of us are competent enough to talk about the coffee, isn't it? We know about the product, we have the knowledge. So all of us know this is how you should also conduct the brainstorming. You bring irrelevant people, then irrelevant inputs will come and discussion will be hijacked in the wrong direction. So you have to be careful while using the tool. And now brainstorming, use cause and effect analysis, the fishbone analysis. Ultimate idea is you wanted to identify the root cause. But in a typical business scenario or a business environment, people will not allow you to make the changes just like that. Am I correct? So far, the company was, executing a process in a particular manner last 5 years. And all of a sudden you are saying that, they are wrong. Do you think they will accept? They will never accept. Though you have understood something, nobody is going to accept and nobody is going to allow you to make changes in the process. In order to make changes in the process, first of all, you should make them understand their innocence. You should make them understand that what they are doing is wrong. This is called validation. This is called validation. I will do some live experiment and prove to them that if you mishandle the sugar, your coffee cannot be sweeter. I'll prove to that. I'll prove that. Possible or not? This is called validation. I will do a live experiment product by making a mistake and will show them defects and problems happening in all 10 attempts. This is called validation. This is a statistical procedure. This is a statistical procedure and is known as hypothesis testing. And is known as hypothesis testing. Once the experimentation is done, people will definitely be convinced now. A new medicine, launch it to the market. You do hypothesis testing, isn't it? You will test it in some animals, you will test it in some mammals, and you will test it in some human beings, and it is good with all the tests. Now you will accept. The product will come to the market. This is called validation. Hope it is clear, all of you. First, what we did, root cause identification. Then root cause validation. Now root cause is validated. Now I understood sugar is the culprit. Complaint is coffee is not sweeter. Now I want more sweet. Now what should I do? Should I add sugar or should I reduce sugar?
Add sugar.
Add sugar.
If you want more sweet, you need to add sugar. That means you know that increasing the sugar will increase the sweetness. That means the relationship is positive. When I increase the X, what happens to my Y? Y also increases. This is called a root cause relationship. Before talking about a solution, you should have a clarity on the root cause relationship. Am I correct with my statement? If you don't know how the root cause will affect your Y, you may sometimes tune your X in a wrong direction. That will further intensify the problem. Am I correct? With the coffee and sugar sweetness example, discussion is going on very well because no complication. But if I change the coffee by your product, what is your product? You now think about it. Your product is, let's say the windshield in the car, the glass window. A glass window will have so many CTQs, am I right? The strength is important, The transparency is important. The thickness is important. There is a problem with the strength of the glass component you produce. Now, what are the X factor? All of a sudden, there are too many customer complaints. They are saying that your glass is breaking during the transit itself. Now tell me which is the X factor. Difficult, right? Now this is difficult. This is not as easy as the coffee and sugar. So always when this when the problem is complex in your hand, you have to be systematic in problem solving. Your mere fishbone diagram cannot help you. Most of the time we settle at fishbone analysis and then implement the solution. We have not validated the root cause. We have not understood the relationship. There is one more thing. Root cause sufficiency. What is that? Root cause sufficiency. If the problem is sweetness, the root cause is only sugar. If the problem is sweet taste, root cause can be many. Do you understand? When I say taste, it is related to everything. When I say sweetness, it is related to just one thing.
Yeah.
Whether the crime is done by a single criminal or multiple criminals are involved, that is the question now. If there are multiple criminals, who is the gang leader and who are next? This is called factor sufficiency. What is the contribution of each of the factor in causing the problem? Unless and until you are very clear with root cause identification, root cause validation, root cause relationship, root cause sufficiency, you are not fit to talk about the solution. Is that clear? The entire team should have a clarity on root cause identification, root cause validation, root cause relationship, root cause sufficiency. Then only you should arrange a brainstorming session. You all are now eligible to talk about the solution. Why am I suggesting this? Because the problem in hand is really complex in nature. If it is a mere coffee shop you are running and your coffee is not stronger, yes, you need not think too much to come out with a solution. But if your product is something else and the issue is really critical, you have to be systematic. And this way of solving problem is nothing but Six Sigma way of problem solving. I would like to stop here.